So, like, how healthy are you feeling?
I feel amazing. Like you said, the last two camps I've been sitting on the sidelines just watching. So, I mean, I haven't been healthy in a main camp in a while. So for me, it honestly feels like my first camp again. Being able to just battle with all the boys and compete for a spot. Like I'm, so grateful to be in this position to, be able to compete for a spot on this team. Obviously, this organization is special, and you look up and down the lineup. There's a lot of great players. So, I feel healthy. I feel great. I had a great summer back home in Kelowna, and I feel good, ready to compete.
You can't control the injuries, but how frustrating has it been to kind of work your way through? Because they haven't been minor injuries.
Yeah, I mean it's never easy, but I've had a handful of injuries, surgeries now. So I think every surgery you kind of take something from it. Obviously the first couple it's like the end of the world, and it's like, am I ever going to be healthy? And I think the last couple surgeries, I just had the mindset of it's an opportunity to learn something, right? Like I've learned so much about my body and how to keep myself healthy, and I think that's an advantage over some of the guys that have never had that adversity, and like I said, the mental adversity too. Like I've personally gone through a lot. The dark days of rehabbing for 7 months in a row. It sucks, and you never wish it upon anyone. But I feel like as a human being, I've grown a lot and gotten mentally tougher from it.
You got the one game in last year at the NHL level. What was that experience like, and how does that help you maybe coming into a camp like this, where you have a really good opportunity?
Yeah, it was the best day of my life, honestly. It was an opportunity to kind of bond a little bit more with the guys here. Coming to camp and just kind of sitting on the sidelines, it's hard to bond and connect with the guys on the team. So to be able to suit up with them and learn all the systems, learn how they play, and compete with them, it was the best day ever. And honestly, I think it's helped a lot coming into this camp, just being a more familiar face for the guys.
Jackie, we know you have size. A lot of your game is physical. Being over those injuries, knowing that you can go out there and play maybe your kind of game, and knowing how physical your game is, how much maybe does that help you going into this camp?
Yeah, it helps a lot. It's this summer I haven't been rehabbing, so it's an opportunity to add layers to my game. Add skill, add some pace to my game, and it's been the first summer in a while where I've been able to kind of sit back and reflect on the season and say, okay, going into training camp, going into the season, what kind of player do I want to be? What things do I want to add to my game? And I think I did that, and just trying to work through it right now.
You mentioned about maybe things that you've learned through the injuries. What was maybe some of the things that you've learned about your body, going through that kind of stuff?
I got a bad build. No, just how to strengthen the body. Like you see some of these older guys, McDonough, Hetty, and guys that have been in the league. Like they've had so much experience, and their bodies changed so much as they've gotten older. And you just watch them, and they're doing certain things that are unique to them and that get their body going. And I mean, I'm only 23, but I feel like I got an older body now, so I've just learned how to get myself ready to compete every day, mentally and physically, and not going into practices or games, in the back of my head like, damn, is today going to be the day? Am I going to get hurt today? So just, getting myself ready and having the confidence to just go out and perform.
So what were some of the things outside of being able to work in the gym? You said you worked on some skill sets and stuff like that. Like what are some of the things you kind of concentrated on, and who do you work out with in the summer?
Yeah, I live in Kelowna. I work out with Mark Fitzgerald. He's been a strength coach in the league before, and Travis Martell. They've got an unbelievable setup there. A lot of pro guys coming in to live in Kelowna and train with them. And I've just tried to just add offense. Like I like playing a heavier game. I like playing down low in the corners in front of the net. And I think it's one thing to just go stand in front of the net, but you watch some of the guys around the league that are really good in front of the net and have quick hands and you can tip pucks and stuff like that. So we really worked on just all the stuff down low in the corners and just around the net.